If your life was a movie and people were watching up to this point, what would the audience be screaming at the screen, telling you to do with your life? What would the audience watching the movie of your life be screaming at the screen, telling you to do?
Everybody has dreams. Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. And it's like because they don't think you can do nothing they can't do.
Exactly, bingo.
Right? You know what I mean? It's like it's a lonely, scary, dangerous pursuit, and you got to be willing to risk everything to become that seed of what you believe is in there. You got to be fearless. You got to be relentless.
That every day I wake up and I don't want to do some shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a today? Do you want to feel like a little? Do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could but you didn't? So it's perform without purpose. You have to learn how to get up and do shit when you ain't got no 5K, no 10K, nothing. Nothing exists. Your life fucking sucks. You're in the dungeon. But guess what? I'm still going to get it.
Stop waiting. Time won't invite you. You have to show up anyway. We've been taught to wait for the right time, to wait until we're more qualified, until we have more money, more confidence, more clarity, until the fear goes away, until we're ready, until someone gives us permission, until the timing makes sense. But here's the reality. The right time doesn't show up. You do. The timing won't feel perfect because you're not supposed to feel certain before you grow.
Lose! I don't lose! I win! I win! That's my job! That's what I do!
So many lives would transform overnight if they realized, my life sucks, I have nothing going for me, really means I have nothing to lose, and that makes you a very dangerous person.
You can flip the fact that you have nothing going for you with you have nothing to lose. And that means that you can take lots of risks very quickly and end up in the exact same position you are, which is nothing. And so if you eliminate downside, it should decrease your action threshold, meaning you should be able to do more things faster rather than do fewer things because you don't have a great life or things going for you.
I came to a place in life where I just didn't like me anymore. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, I will not spend the next 50 years with this guy.
So many lives would transform overnight if they realized, my life sucks, I have nothing going for me, really means I have nothing to lose, and that makes you a very dangerous person.
And so you can flip the fact that you have nothing going for you with you have nothing to lose. And that means that you can take lots of risks very quickly and end up in the exact same position you are, which is nothing.
No one's gonna come to help me. It's me against me, period. And so I had to man up. And I said, the first thing I gotta start doing is facing every fucking fear I have, no matter what the fuck it is, man. And these things would keep me up. And no one, people who are hearing this shit, they will never really understand. And
Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
You can believe you're not worthy of a thing and still attain it. You can be adamant that your efforts are going to go badly and still succeed. You can grip and grasp and fear and it ruin the enjoyment and be totally unwarranted and things still go well. You can have no self-belief and show up anyway. You can want more for yourself without knowing exactly what that looks like. You can doubt the process, question your talent, be uncertain that you're making progress, disparage your accomplishments, permanently feel like you're not working hard enough no matter how hard you work, never give yourself a break, fail to fully feel gratitude, be terrified of never reaching your goals, and still end up in a place that your 20-year-old self could not imagine. You are your own worst enemy. You waste precious time dreaming of the future instead of engaging in the present. Since nothing seems urgent to you, you're only half involved in what you do.
The human brain evolved under immense amounts of pressure.
what the hell are we all waiting for to start attacking life? Waiting for the stars to align? Back when I was growing up, the sun came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. and I found out on my own pretty much, is that through discipline, through self-discipline, through repetition, through tons of repetition of the same thing that you don't want to do, and that's the key thing. Through repetition of things you don't want to do, you develop mental, like an armor for your mind. Start to armor your mind, because your mind's like, okay, we suffer every day. We do stuff that sucks every day. So then when the suck stuff comes, you're ready for it. And that's how I started coming up. I just started being very uncomfortable. And now it's like just a way of life.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just remind myself, this is where most people stop, and this is why they don't win.
You can learn anything you want as long as you're willing to look dumb in front of other people for an extended period of time. I think the most underrated money-making habit is being willing to look stupid. Because one of the surest ways to never succeed in life is to avoid looking dumb, is to avoid failing. And what's really interesting about this is that risk is guaranteed. And so there's this thing that people have this misconception, this fallacy about how life works, which is they want to avoid risk. But the thing is that all great things come with risk.
The weak fuckers of the world are committed when everything's in a perfect setting. But as soon as things get hard, they start having doubts. And why are the doubts? Not because they're failing, because other people are saying stuff and they're giving value to these third-party people as if they're going to help them. No one's going to help you. No one's ever going to help you guys. You've got to help yourself.
And so no one will ever know how hard you worked, and no one will ever care. And so you have to create another game or another story that allows you to succeed even when no one else cares. Which is why you have to be the one who cheers for you when no one else is watching. Just know that no one will understand, and that's okay, because you know, and you're the only person whose respect you need to earn. And you're also the hardest person's respect to earn, because you know when you're bullshitting.
The more you want your life now, let's say, in the future to be quite different than what you're used to, the more you need to be able to let go. Let go of patterns, let go of the way of thoughts that you had in the last years and months. Now, if nothing changes about that, there will not come a new life.
I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
Can I deal with the fact that this is painful for me? And the answer is, the fact that it is painful is the reason that it's working.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't you stepping out, everybody else that has to try and step out into this new life faces this same thing too. Every single person does. That's why most people don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, this is what hard feels like, and this is why most people don't win. So continuing to push through and almost seeing that level of discomfort as a signal, it's like a way marker that's been planted in the ground. Yes, more this way. The first step to achieving a massive dream is conquering tiny impulses.
You don't build confidence by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by stacking.
Having an undeniable stack of proof that you are who you say you are.
Thank you. That's
Outwork
the
your self-doubt.
A lot of people were like, no, but what if you don't have any successes? Like, how do you get started? And I still think that the quote is 100% valid. It's that they don't realize the validity of the smaller things that they have done up to that point. And then you do that enough times that you have enough evidence to make a claim that you can do this and support it. And I think
many of you are creating stories that you tell yourselves to make yourself feel better about why your product isn't as good as it should be, but you have an excuse that only you need to believe. And you believe that excuse, so it excuses you from working harder on the stuff you know you should be doing but aren't. And that work, the work you know you should be doing but aren't, is the opportunity, because that is the work that your competitors also aren't doing. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my soul, it is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their notifications because they can't stick with shit. They can't say no.
Stop breaking promises to yourself. When you say, I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m. and when the option comes to hit the snooze button, don't do it. There's one win that you've got for the day. That's action.
Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow.
And so whoever I blame for the life I have is the person who I give all the power over my existence, over my circumstances. And so it hurts, but if you turn the finger inwards and you start saying, I don't like my life. The person that I need to punish or get back at is the real person who got me here, which is me. And the only person who's in control of that is you.
There's no fucking hack, bro. There's no fucking hack. Yeah, you may this and that and saunas and all this shit it's great. There is no life hack. To grow that thing, how do you grow it? Do it and do it and do it and do it. That's the hack. The hack is gonna fucking suck. And that's what I realized. Life, that's why I wanted to come on here today. I didn't want to come on here and talk about no passion and purpose and how to get the fuck out of bed and how to hit a fucking alarm clock and all this catchphrase bullshit. Because that wasn't how I lived. I woke up like every human being does and goes, man, I'm a piece of shit today. How the hell is this gonna work out for me? And you fight that. You don't override it.
You know, how can you have faith that you're going to go and do all of the things that you want in life when you can't not hit the snooze button?
Right.
Or you can't not cheat on your diet. You
Right.
can't not do, you are constructed by the tiny decisions that you make every single day. And even if you think that nobody else is watching, and even if no one is, there's this little ticker in the back of your mind when you go to bed. You were gentle with yourself.
It doesn't matter if a nuclear bomb went off, but all you see is a straight line, completely undisturbed by the things that are going around them. Because you can beat 99% of people without being smarter or luckier, but by being willing to endure pain and uncertainty for longer. It's hard for you, it's hard for everyone else. And most people avoid hard things, which is why you can beat most people by just trying and continuing to try. And the main thing is that I think most people don't even know what trying feels like.
I'ma win wherever I go. Wherever I go, I'ma win. I don't care where I go. I don't give a damn what team I go to, I'ma win. I'ma win regardless. It don't matter.
If you change your life, if you want to change your life, you must change your ways. You must develop discipline. You must develop strength. I tell you these things because I want to share that with you. It doesn't matter where you are in life. It really doesn't. Because the great thing about life is it's always your next move. Your next move that counts. No matter where you are. You could be, look, I was dead broke. My electric bill was being shut off. And there were people even like worse off than I was. It doesn't matter. You could change your life if you want to. It's always your next decision.
What's crazy is that the highest levels of effort are so rare amongst people that you can unlock most things in the universe with it by just really trying like your life depends on it. Because it does. Most of the time we know what we're supposed to do, we just have trouble doing it. Like you know what you need to do to get a six-pack. You know what you need to do to build muscle. People already know this. Like you don't need to know anything, and yet you haven't begun because you haven't really tried. So if you don't know what to do, the answer is to learn. If you know what to do, the answer is to do it. And if you're already doing it, the answer is to never stop.
You repeat what you don't repair. You repeat what you don't reflect on. You repeat what you don't release. You repeat what you don't reveal. You repeat what you don't reframe. You repeat what you don't respect in yourself. And you repeat what you don't take responsibility for. Patterns don't disappear with time. They disappear with work.
Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. And that's discipline. It's not motivation. If you only did what you were supposed to do when you were motivated to do it, that's leaving it to chance. But if you're disciplined, you go do what you're supposed to do. That's the way it works.
Let me be very clear. I'll never give up. Never.
Cause I know ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. I know there's a whole bunch of people with that right there. That fires me up. That makes me fucking happy, what you just said. That brings joy to my life right there.
Why?
Because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours. Refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks.
You do not become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt. And ultimately, hoping that you're going to be able to... believing that you can think your way out of a thinking problem is like believing you can sniff your way out of a cocaine addiction, right? You have to give yourself something else that's going to step change where you're at.
All you have control over is how you direct your attention and how you comport yourself. What are the actions that you're taking, how you're responding to the world around you. And when you drill that down into the tiniest little things that you're doing every single day and try to repeat that with just rigorous, relentless consistency, that is how you move mountains, that's how you build mountains, that's how you change your life. It fucking sucks, and I wish it wasn't that way. I didn't do them willingly. I did them because I was in so much fucking pain that I was boxed into a corner and felt like the only way out was through.
I'm gonna show everyone that I'm gonna evolve and form into something, an immortal being. I'm gonna be something that is different. I'm gonna be something that is going to shape the universe, that is going to literally show everyone that, hey, like this kid really went from being a fat, smelly, lazy, pudgy fuck to really becoming someone who's really just on top of the fucking world.
Struggle doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It usually means you're on a real one, right? Struggle doesn't mean you're making a mistake. Struggle could mean that you have a lot to learn to get to this goal. If you give up because something's hard, it means you didn't care enough about the thing.
Use what you have. And a lot more people have pain. A lot more people have anger. A lot more people have shame. And if you can use that as your gas in the beginning, you'll eventually get to a point where you can get out of that loop and then find something that you are really passionate about. But if you can't tie your shoes, you can't lift the weight, you can't send the DM, then you have to start with whatever you have. And so for me, it was hatred of my current existence. I hated being an entrepreneur. I hated being a wannabe. I hated being one of those people who like talked about all the things they were going to do and didn't do anything. I hated living the life that my dad wanted me to live.
What does losing feel like to you?
It's exciting.
Why is it exciting?
Because it means you have different ways to get better. There's certain things that you can figure out that you can take advantage of, right? Certain weaknesses that were exposed that you need to shore up.
And it evolved into just like a no-quit mentality. It's accepting these fears I have, this doubt I have, this everything that goes through my mind, but regardless of that, not quitting and not giving up on myself. No matter how hard is the time of what I'm going through and whatever shit I feel, I'm going to still put in the same work regardless of how I feel. And that's a champion mentality, because the champion's not controlled by their outside circumstances. They control their own mind inside and how they act.
Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading about how other people did the thing isn't doing the thing. Reading this essay isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. And I love this.
I've been building that physical vessel, this mental resilient vessel this entire time, so nothing could break me. And I needed something stronger than that to break me. And the moment it did, my whole life changed. Everything changed.
I remember just looking at him and I was like, dare greatly. Like, what's the point? Like, if we f up, we die trying. You know what I mean? Like, so what? But like, we're gonna still fight like hell to try and make it happen. Well, what if people don't take you seriously? I don't think people are gonna not take me seriously, because people will take you as serious as you take yourself. And if you are serious about your goals and your commitment to those goals, people can visibly observe. There is no one that will fault you for daring greatly, period. And anyone who does, doesn't matter.
It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality.
You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the f after it every daggone day.
The bar for excellence has never been so low. Most of your competition quits after the first sign of difficulty because they've never known what hard feels like. If it's hard for you, it's hard for everyone. And most people avoid hard things, which is why you can beat most people by just trying.
I think the vast majority of people don't actually know what it looks like to put tremendous effort into something.
There's no perfect way to live your 20s. You either live them up and become an underskilled 30-year-old, or you work them up and become an underlived 30-year-old. You just have to figure out which you'd rather be, accept the trade-offs, and know that there are no do-overs.
If you don't take the last 5%, you have to be happy the rest of your life knowing it went to somebody else's door and knocked on their door, and you could have been that guy. It's up to you.
The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it. And you know something? The statistics show that 95% of the goals that you set for yourself, you will achieve if you refuse to quit.
It's the effort, it's the journey. It's like suffering through time that I don't want to be at the gym or why I want to quit on my diet, and I push myself, and every single moment, every day leading up to the show, and I win all those moments. That's winning. That's like winning in life, continuously every day. And through that journey, being able to build my relationships, not sacrifice them for winning, be able to make myself a better person, not a more stressed out, anxious person, all that stuff coming together, I've already won before I have a trophy in my hands. When I stand on stage, I haven't quit on a workout, I haven't quit on a cardio session.
I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. You have something special. You've got greatness in you, but you've got to be hungry. What do you mean by that? People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. They're willing to study. They're willing to challenge themselves. They're willing to go outside of their comfort zone. Why is that important? Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. You've got to die to who you are now to give birth to who you were chosen out of 400 million sperm to become.
You can't transfer your sacrifice into someone else's success. You can't transfer your discipline into someone else's desire. You can't transfer your work into someone else's worth. It doesn't work that way. They have to have the discipline. They have to do the work. They have to make the sacrifice. You can be there by their side, but you can't do it for them.
My plan didn't involve college. I'm out, I'm done. No more community, this is what I want to do, I got it. I've never been more excited about my future. This is it for me. How you gonna figure it out? I'm gonna figure it out though. I'm just gonna go down to the comedy clubs, and I've been winning the amateur nights. I think the amateur nights can help me pay for my rent because I was winning the amateur nights. I won a bunch of them in a row. In my mind, it wasn't hard. It wasn't gonna be hard because there was no other option. All my eggs were in this basket, and I was very happy with that choice.
This will be the story that I will one day tell. And that means the harder it is, the bigger the dragon, the more epic the story, and by consequence, the more epic the hero. And if you think about the difference between winners and losers, winners define themselves by what they made happen, and losers define themselves by what happened to them.
Success is the only revenge. As you expand, they shrink into irrelevance. As you get louder, no one can hear them. You don't beat them, you cast a shadow so big, no one can see them to begin with. When people copy, they copy the wrong stuff because they don't know why it worked to begin with. And when it breaks, they don't know how to fix it because they didn't build it. So don't sweat it. Copycats will always be behind. Self-belief is overrated. Generate evidence, says Ryan Holiday. And this resilience of doing good things in spite of you not believing in them or believing that they're going to happen is pretty miraculous. That the world really only knows the actions that you take. It doesn't know about the internal state until that then shows up in the way that you actually perform.
And it evolved into just like a no quit mentality. It's accepting these fears I have, this doubt I have, this everything that goes through my mind, but regardless of that, not quitting and not giving up on myself. No matter how hard is the time or what I'm going through and whatever shit I feel, I'm gonna still put in the same work regardless of how I feel. And that's a champion mentality, because champion's not controlled by their outside circumstances. They control their own mind inside and how they act, and then the world goes on around them.
It's not over until I win. Got that right. It's not over till I win. Not over till I get through. It's not over till I get over. Not over till I get what I want. Door can't open today, look out. I'm gonna come back and take the hinges off. That's how you gotta do that. You've got to have that kind of courage, that type of determination.
From now on, whenever you see a barrier or wall, or you think of anything you want to do or be, you say, wait a minute here. I'm unstoppable. Nothing stops me. And you know something? You will develop yourself to the point where nothing does. Cause and effect, going right back to what we talked about. Mental attitudes and personality are determined by things that we do. And there are certain things that you can do consistently every single day. And in so doing them, you'll build your self-confidence up and up and up to the point where you become unstoppable.
Do you believe a better version of yourself exists? And take responsibility to take that into action. And the reason that question to ask yourself is, do you believe a better version of yourself exists? Is because if you say yes, you are admitting that you have faith. You have faith that a better version of yourself exists. And the only way to move forward in life is by starting and just taking action. There's no book or a 12-step program or perfect way that is going to organize things. And this sounds super trite to say, I know everyone knows that, but people still don't do it. Awareness doesn't mean anything. Action is all that matters.
Nobody cares about you more than you should care about yourself. And nobody is giving you the roadmap to like the wins. You have to go find that information. You got to go discover it. You gotta want to get it. You gotta want to do it.
If you want something, go get it. Like I quip that the reason to win the game is to be free of it. So you play the games, you win the games, and then hopefully you get bored of the games. You don't want to just keep looping on the same game over and over.
The only way that we're going to be able to get past this, and the way God is going to use me right now, is for me to stop talking about the pain, stop talking about what happened, and do something about it. And that's where I'm at right now in this moment. I'm not asking for anyone out here to empathize or sympathize for a dude worth $11 billion that can make money appear out of thin air in 5 different industries.
Everything around you will try and force you to dilute yourself. It will force you to try and fit in with your surroundings. And he said, this force is natural and it's inevitable, and yet we have to fight it. And the fact that it's hard does not make it less worth it.
The rewards you get in terms of self-esteem and self-story, what you think of yourself, will be correlated to the size of the commitment you keep when no one is watching. So if you say to yourself, I'm going to do this, when no one is watching, we don't think it's important to keep those commitments. We think lying to ourselves is there's no sort of punishment for that. I actually think the greatest consequence in life is not keeping commitments to yourself. And I think that compounds to, as we talked about, where does beliefs come from? I think it compounds as personal evidence, which is deposited in this instruction manual of who you are and how you behave and how you show up and what you're capable of.
I failed everything I did the first time. I was known for coming back even harder after I failed. Success isn't a straight line. It's a maze. And when you think you figure that maze out, you hit a wall, and you gotta turn the fuck around and start again. Stay hard.
If you want to be exceptional, what you're doing right now is average or even below average. And if you want to continue to be average or below average your whole life, then continue doing this. But you need to make a serious change and start doing hard shit and letting go of the easy shit, the comfortable, pleasurable shit. Abstain from that to make a better version of yourself.
Success really just boils down to this. You gotta want it more than you hate what it takes to get it. If you're willing to suck at anything for 100 days in a row, you can beat most people at most things.
You can't stop people from trying to limit your dreams, but you can stop it from becoming a reality. Your dreams are up to you. I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it.
One of the strongest reframes for suffering is that it gives you the opportunity to create evidence of the person who you want to be. And so it's I cannot say that I'm the type of man who can withstand hard things without having gone through hard things. And so reframing suffering as opportunity to create more proof, I think, is really, really strong.
You still got to do something. You're an animal. You're here to survive. You're here to replicate. You're driven. You're motivated. You're going to do something. You're not just going to sit there all day. Unlikely. Some people do. Maybe it's in their nature. But I think most people still want to act. They want to live in the arena.
Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. A hierarchy of improvement. You need to be aiming for something. So the question is, who should you defeat in the final analysis? And the answer is, you should defeat your former self. You should be constantly trying to do that. If you're improving yourself, then what you are doing is competing with your lesser self. Personal responsibility is like, well, personal responsibility is to compete with yourself, is to be slightly better than yourself the next day.
Yes.
And it